Okay, we'll get this started now. Call to order the regular meeting of the Town of Gilbert Planning Commission. First item is the Pledge of Allegiance. When you all stand. Where is the flag? Oh, okay. Next item will be roll call.
Chairman Brian Anderson,
Yeah.
Vice Chairman Carl Bloomfield,
Here.
Commissioner David Cavaney,
Here.
Commissioner Greg Froelich, Commissioner Brian Johns,
Here.
Commissioner Les Smith,
Here.
Alternate Commissioner Philip Bellabrande, Alternate Commissioner James Torgeson.
Okay, thank you. Next will be approval of the agenda. The agenda has no changes, so will be heard as it's written tonight. Is there a motion on the agenda?
Chairman, I move that we approve the public hearing consent agenda, items 8, 9, 10, and 11.
Oh, you're jumping ahead on me.
Oh.
This is just approval of the
I'm
overall
sorry.
agenda.
Sorry about that, Chairman. I'm with you. I move to approve the agenda.
A motion for approval. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Cavaney. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Agenda moves. Next is communications from citizens. At this time, members of the public may comment on matters within the jurisdiction of the town, but not on the agenda. The Commission Board of Response is limited to responding to criticism, asking staff to review a matter commented upon, or asking that a matter be put on a future agenda. Is there anyone in the public who would like to address the Commission at this time? Not seeing any, we will move along to report from council liaison on current events.
Hi, Chairman. Thank you very much. I wanted to share a couple of things with you. I put a booklet in front of all of you up there on the dais that is the booklet that was handed out during the Gilbert Digital State of the Town last Tuesday evening. We had a packed house in the theater. I saw a few of the faces that are up here in front of me that night there in the theater. Thank you for coming and joining us. For anybody that hasn't seen the video, it is available online at gilbertaz.gov/state of the town. Please take a moment to take a look at it. The best part about doing a digital State of the Town is that it's not a one-and-done type event. It can be viewed by anyone, anywhere, anytime, for if they want to move their family to Gilbert, or if they want to move their business to Gilbert. It's a great opportunity for everybody to see it, for you all to watch it and see what the great things that have been done in Gilbert over the past year and things that are coming. We did a ribbon cutting at Deloitte last week that has added 2,500 jobs here in the town of Gilbert. If you haven't seen their building yet, it's located between Lindsay and Gilbert Road on Pecos. You can't miss it. It's a beautiful new building, and we're really pleased to have that company here in our town now. I look forward to a great future with them. This Saturday, February 9th, we will be having the opening day at Cactus Yards, and I think we're all pretty excited about that. This is a new venture for the town to take over that old property that was formerly known as BLD and make it something new and exciting for our community. It opens at 4 p.m. We'll be doing a ribbon cutting between 5:30 and 6 on one of the new fields. There will be entertainment, there will be games, inflatables, skill challenges. Everything is free. There'll be live music and a movie playing in one of the parks also. We also will have representatives from the Cardinals, Diamondbacks, Coyotes, Phoenix Rising, and Park University on site for the festivities. Like I said, we're all very excited and hope you can come out and join us there. The Diamondbacks Foundation has redone one of the stadiums, and that'll be the one that we'll be cutting the ribbon at that evening. So that's all I have for you tonight. Hope to see some of you at those events. Thanks.
All right, thank you, Councilman Peterson. Next is public hearing consent items. All items listed below are considered public hearing items, public hearing consent calendar items. The Commission Board may by a single motion approve any number of public hearing items where after opening the public hearing, no person requests the item be removed from the public hearing consent calendar. If such a request is made, the Commission shall then withdraw the item from the public hearing consent calendar for the purpose of public discussion and separate action. Other items of the agenda may be added to the consent calendar and approved under a single motion. At this time, we will open the public hearing and close the public hearing. Is that correct? Okay, thank you. Items on the consent calendar are item 8, DR 18156, Platinum Paintum and Body. Item 9, DR 18191, Residence at Santan Village. Item 10, DR 18206, Verde at Cooley Station. Item 11, DR 18186, Val Vista and Queen Creek. Item 12, DR 18192, Val Vista and Queen Creek. Does anybody need to state any conflicts of the agenda that's been read? Not hearing any. Is there a motion on the agenda as read? Vice Chair.
Chairman, sorry to jump the gun earlier. I move that we approve the public hearing consent calendar items 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12.
Motion for approval. Is there a second?
Second the motion.
Second from Commissioner Smith. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Calendar is approved. Next will be public hearing non-consent items. Non-consent public hearing items will be heard at an individual public hearing and will be acted upon by the commission by a separate motion. During the public hearings, anyone wishing to comment in support or in opposition to a public hearing item may do so. If you wish to comment on a public hearing item, you must fill out a public comment form located in the back of the room, indicating the item number on which you wish to be heard. Once the hearing is closed, there will be no further public comment unless requested by a member of the commission board. Items 13 and 14 have been requested to continue to March 6, 2019 hearing. Do we need to do anything on that?
Commissioner Anderson, if you could please pass a motion for that continuance?
Okay, is there a motion for items 13?
Yeah, they're two separate motions.
Okay, is there a motion for item 13, GP 18-15 Cadiz, to be continued to March 6, 2019? Vice Chair?
Chairman, I move that we move item number 13 to, continue it to the March 6th, 2019 meeting.
Motion to continue, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Cavney. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Motion carries. Item 14, Z18-29 Cadiz. Vice Chair?
Chairman, I move that we continue this item to March 6th, 2019 meeting.
Motion for continuance, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Cavney. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Motion carries. Next is item 15, S18-18, Espria, Heritage District. Sydney. I think we're okay if you want to do a condensed presentation.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, Commissioners. This is for Aspire Heritage District. The subject site is located at the corner of Vaughn Avenue and Palm Street. It is presently vacant and approximately 2.47 acres. You saw this preliminary plat back in December for study session. The applicant is proposing to build 32 townhome units on the site, and there is a concurrent design review that is running with this preliminary plat that is going to the Redevelopment Commission on the 20th of February. The preliminary plat consists of 32 lots. What you're going to see here in black is the original sizing from the original submittal, and then in blue is the modifications. As you can see, there's been no additional lots added, just some minor modifications to the sizing. And the density is 12.97 dwelling units per acre, which is slightly different than what the original density is, but no lots were ever added or reduced. It was just a clerical error. The open space plan has changed since you last saw it. It still has one amenity area located towards the center of the site here, where the guest parking also is. They have modified it, and if you remember from study session, there were some discrepancies with its compliance with the Heritage District and its approved plant palette. The applicant has modified a large amount of their landscaping to comply with this. As you'll notice, the biggest item is removing the date palms from the front entrance and locating them mostly around the amenity area where it is appropriate. site walls and fences. Some of them have stayed the same since you first saw it. Some of them have been modified. On here is some of the original fence designs that you had saw. There are some minor modifications to the type of view fencing that has been proposed, and also to the monument entry sign. Here is just some examples of how they have changed. As you can see, these are slight items. You'll see down here the vehicular entrance, which is located at the front of the site, has been modified per the recommendation of the Redevelopment Commission and the Planning Commission to be a little bit more open so that we don't dead end that corner. The Redevelopment Commission unanimously voted to recommend approval to the Planning Commission on the January 16th hearing. And we are recommending approval of Aspire Heritage District subject to conditions. And I am here for any questions.
All right, thank you. Does anybody have any comments or questions for staff? Okay. All right, so I don't see anything up here. We'll now open it to the public. Is there anybody in the public that would like to address the commission on this? Well, let's start with the applicant. Does the applicant wish to say anything to the commission? No? Okay. And is there anybody else from the public that would like to address the commission? Not seeing any. We'll close the public hearing. Any discussion? Have to discuss. We can just make a motion and keep going.
No, I think they've addressed all the issues that I talked about last time, so I think it looks great. Yeah, I'm glad to see that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Why wasn't this on consent? I'm just curious.
As we wanted to give staff something to do tonight.
And I asked to hear it, Brian. I wanted to hear
Okay,
it.
there we go.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, if there's nothing further, does somebody want to make a motion?
Chairman, I move that we approve item 15, S18-18, the Aspire Heritage District pre-plat.
Motion to recommend approval. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Smith. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed say no. Commission carries. Recommendation carries. Next is item 16, S18-20, Enclave at Madeira Park. Ashley?
Thank you, Chairman Anderson and Commission members. I will be brief on this as well. This is S1820 Enclave at Madeira Park. You may recall we had this zoning case came to the Planning Commission. I believe it was in November of last year. So we've just recently covered this. It's located on the east side of Cooper Road, east of the First United Methodist Church, between Madeira Park Drive and Smoke Tree Road. To the south, as you may recall, the project at one time was part of the Madeira Park and Candlewood PADs, and it did separate from those as part of the recent zoning case to create its own Enclave at Madeira Park PAD. It's 10.45 acres. Their rezoning modified the zoning district to single-family detached with a PAD. They are in compliance with the existing general plan land use category of residential 3.5 to 5, with a density of 4.88 dwelling units per acre. One difference of this project at the pre-plat moving forward from the zoning case is a reduction in lots from 52 to 51, and I'll show you that as we go through. So this is the approved development plan that shows the lot layout, access to the site from Madeira Park with emergency access only to Smoke Tree, and then they've provided the 20-foot landscaping and buffer along the boundary to the existing lots here. Open space was proposed at this location to accommodate the retention that at one time served this entire property, at one time served Madeira Park and Candlewood, and now that retention will be limited to this portion. So moving forward, looking at the preliminary plat, again, this is in compliance with that development plan. You'll notice right here there was the elimination of one lot. This is where that lot came from, and that was to avoid a technical variance requirement. So that they could widen the space for a water line between walls. So there is a one lot reduction, but other than that, the buffer is still provided on this location. You may recall when the zoning came through, the applicant had agreed to maintain the existing view fence around the subject site in this location, provide a solid wall here, view fence here, and that is all part of the open space plan. I've provided this just as reference. This is the landscape plan. this will be approved administratively because it's under 20 acres. There are some modifications still required as part of this, and so staff will take another look at this as they are ready to resubmit their open space and landscape plan. Staff does recommend approval of the proposed preliminary plat, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. Oh, one more thing, I apologize. We did receive a letter in opposition, which I provided you up on the dais from Miss Debbie Fisher. I believe she indicates she won't be at the meeting tonight, but she provided some photos that were taken after the recent storm showing some water in the retention basin. So we have received that one communication, but nothing else.
Okay, thank you. Does anybody have any comments or questions for staff? Commissioner Cavity.
Yeah, hi, Ashley. So just, I know as we talked about this case before, there was a lot of discussion about the transition into the church property, and that there was a little concern about access, and I guess they kind of flow over heavy on, was that on Easter, Christmas, that kind of thing. And I see there's no wall there, there's no gates, there's no anything. In fact, it doesn't even look like the pavement goes even beyond the curb return. So can you help me just understand what was resolved there and what the plan is?
Sure. So the applicant at this time, there is the existing church parking lot that exists here. It will be relocated to this area. And from what I understand, and the developer may want to come and speak to this, they have agreed to provide that parking here in this location. They will either be providing a wall in this location, and that is part of the revisions that are to come as part of the open space and wall plan. A wall in that location because there is a required separation fence, or they may process a separation fence modification request, which would allow them to eliminate that wall. So they have a couple of options moving forward, but that is one of the items that will be addressed as part of the open space and wall plan.
Okay, because, yeah, I didn't see that on the wall plan. All right. And as far as, I mean, is the only neighbor opposition then now against the flooding? Is that the only issue?
That is the only concern that I've heard.
Okay. And Commissioner Bloomfield points out to me that the water shown in these photos doesn't even reach the height of the dry well entry. So I think this is doing what it's meant to do, really. So I'm not sure that's a concern for me, especially if they're doing all this underground storage. So yeah, so if the neighbors are satisfied, and I think we've got that church transition, I think I'm good with it now. Thanks.
Thank you. Anyone else? Vice Chair.
Ashley, thanks for working on this project, and it was involved and had its whiskers that needed to be shaved. So thanks for working with the applicant, and thank you to the applicant for working with the neighbors and going through all of that. And we're happy that you got to this end. So congratulations.
All right, thank you. Commissioner Johns, did you have something to say? No? Okay. So at this time, we'll open it to the public. Public hearing. Is the applicant want to address the commission? No? Okay. Is anybody from the public want to address the commission? Okay, so we'll close the public hearing. Is there any further discussion on this? Does anybody want to make a motion then?
I'll move. Chairman, I move that we approve the pre-plat for Enclave at Madeira Park, item number 16, which is S18-20. Approve it.
Okay. Are we sure we don't want to recommend denial? Is there a second for approval?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Smith. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Approved. Congratulations on your...
Sorry for the bad humor. Got your attention, though.
Next, we'll move to administrative items. Planning Commission minutes. Consider approval of the minutes of the study session and regular meeting on January 9th, 2019. Is there a motion? Vice Chair, can I get a motion on the approval of the minutes, please?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Nope. Approved. Next is communications reports from chairman and members of the commission on current events. I don't have anything. Does anybody else?
Chairman, I would like to take a moment, and just a moment. I had an aunt and uncle who live in Utah and came to visit, and they were here and spent a week here and had nothing but just great things to say about Gilbert. And they said, we got up every morning, went on a walk, and from where we were staying, we could go in a different direction every day, and just had nothing but great things to say. And then, so I just wanted to share that along because it's fun to hear other people come to town and really appreciate where we live. And sometimes we take it for granted, but it really is a great place to be.
Which is why we changed our name to Kindness, is that right?
Kindness USA in April, for a week in April.
Oh, that's great. So I can also add, I actually have an employee I'm trying to sell on Gilbert. I'm bringing him here this weekend, and I'm showing him around, and I'm trying to get him to buy a home here. So I think I've got a lot to show him. I'm grateful for the booklet because I'm giving it to him, so thanks.
Okay, so moving along to the last item, report for planning services manager on current events.
Thank you, Chairman Anderson and Commissioners. I did want to share that we will be holding our second community workshop for the 2020 General Plan Update. It will be Thursday, February 28th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., and that'll be at the McQueen Park Activity Center, which is at 510 North Horn Street, so in the northwest portion of Gilbert. So it will be kind of an open house style, so the public can come and go at times that work for them. So we do hope folks will come join us. Staff will also be at hand this Saturday at Cactus Yards, just sharing information about the general plan update and encouraging people to sign up to receive information and to give us their comments. So we look forward to that. And that's all I have. Thank you so much for all you do.
All right, thank you. So at this time, we will adjourn. Everybody.